My friends, welcome to another intro for the Super Divorce Supercast. It's another episode where we kind of go off on Comicsgate for a while.
We did go off on Comicsgate. It was like we kind of just came into this with no plan, and we turns out it was a Comicsgate plan.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Just two comic book guys, and
yeah,
that's kind of, well, that's the hot topic right now.
It is. It's a big hot topic.
That's what's going on within the comics community. So please look forward to that. And what else?
Well, we did Beer Me.
We did Beer Me.
And then we stroked Obi-Wan's dick for a while.
Yeah.
And then it was, I mean, basically the whole episode was Comicsgate. I mean, that was it. We just kind of got drunk and, well, not even got drunk, but just we drank some beer and vented about Comicsgate.
It's one of those, it's easy to talk about, though.
It is easy to talk about. There's a lot of points that make sense for it.
Yeah.
So it's easy to bring up one topic and be like, oh, yeah, well, that relates to this, and here's why I feel like this, and whatever.
I think we could put together, like, a really well-planned and thought-out episode of Super Fanatics all around Comicsgate.
Probably.
Like, explore the beginning of it and sort of the big plot points as we've gone along. That might be kind of fun to do.
Well, what was the prompt for our first Super Fanatics back? We had a prompt from somebody or something like that. It was what?
It was from Obi-Wan.
From Obi-Wan, right? That's what I thought.
He wanted to know, like, who are some characters that we thought had been ruined or tarnished by forced diversity.
Right. That's right.
So I feel like it would fit well within that scheme if we're just
yes.
like, we're going to do a Comicsgate super episode, you know, and really spend some time on it. And that might be kind of fun.
It would be.
If it got a decent amount of attention, might get a lot of haters coming our way, but, you know.
Haters are still fans.
That's true. That's true. They become fanatical about
hating on us.
Yeah. So that's what you can look forward to on this episode, and yeah. So here you go.
Social media shout-outs, or do you want to do that at the end?
We'll just do that at the end.
Okay. Please enjoy this episode.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
Wait for it.
Super
Divorce.
Hey man, welcome to the Super Divorce Supercast. This is Nicholas Villars here.
And Bender.
We are the synth pop duo known as Super Divorce. And this is another episode of the Super Divorce Supercast. Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah. I'm going to open up the show with a segment we like to call Beer Me.
Beer Me.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. All right. You want to tell the people a little bit about this beer that we've got?
So today we have Arcadia Ale's Jaw Jacker. Ale with spices added, cinnamon, allspice, and nutmeg in parentheses. Established in 1996, handcrafted and bottled by Arcadia Brewing Company, Kalamazoo, Michigan. It is a 12-ounce bottle, and it is 6% alcohol.
Real quick, I'm just going to point this out.
Yeah.
My labels are very crooked.
Yes, it
See
is.
that?
It's quite crooked.
Is yours like that?
Nope.
Yours? Okay, that's fine. How about these? The top label is a little jacked up there.
Yeah. Well, the top label on mine isn't perfect, but
that one's a little better. I'm just going through the 6-pack here.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's pretty sideways. They might want to pay a visit to whoever's putting these labels on.
They might, yeah, because they're jacked. Shouldn't affect the taste of the beer, but looks are at least part of it.
They are. we are here describing the presentation to you. So
Right. As well as the taste. We're not just here to get drunk. We're here to educate you as well.
exactly. Would you like me to pop that open for you?
Yeah, sure.
I'll play the role of the barkeep,
Uh-huh.
and just gonna go ahead and it's not a twist off,
No.
so you actually have to have a bottle opener handy.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, just set that to the side there. All right, so cheers.
Cheers.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a fall beer right there.
Yeah,
I like that.
it's got a good pumpkin flavor. Yeah.
Good amount of spices.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite delicious. Very easy to drink.
Yeah. Yeah. Not overbearing.
Nope. No, this would be a good Halloween party beer
Yes, it would.
for sure.
Not too heavy to drink all night long, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
It's good. Good choice. It's a good
Yeah.
choice.
If you're out and about and you see Arcadia Ale's Jawjacker, why not pick it up and give it a try? It's got a smooth, kind of sweet entry, and then you get a little bit of bitterness at the end, but it's not too bad. Not too bad at all.
No, not at all.
Very drinkable. So, speaking of beer, when we were over at Ameristop, I asked our good brother Alec over there if he was able to get any of the beers in that Obi-Wan had reviewed on his YouTube channel.
Oh,
And
is that what
it's-
you asked him?
Yeah.
Did you walk over there last week when I wasn't able to make it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I went over there and I wrote down like every beer that he has reviewed on his YouTube channel so far, and Alec was telling me he was going to ask the vendors
Right.
if anyone would be able to get any of those in. Unfortunately, not. But he did say that he knew a customer who comes in who's from Australia, and he had her take a look at the list, and she said that she would bring back one beer for us.
Oh, very nice.
So,
We could always, we really could tap Obi-Wan and see if he'll send us some. I don't know what sending alcohol is like, but
yeah, I don't know what the restrictions are on that. You know?
but
Maybe we could do a beer exchange.
yeah,
So we could send him an American beer and he could send us some Australian beer.
that'd be cool. I'm sure that would be fun.
Yeah. Obi-Wan, if you hear this, get at us about that.
Yeah, get at us about. Don't at me, but at us about doing a beer exchange for review. We'd love to.
I don't know what
That's,
we'd send.
Obi-Wan is for those that don't know, Obi-Wan is the super patron, super saint of Australia. Easily our biggest fan in the land over there.
Yeah.
And
Easily.
super cool guy.
Always joins for the live chats.
Kind of mysterious. I don't know much about him, but that I like it. I
Yeah.
like it to keep it that way. I mean, I hope we can be friends, but I think it's cool to have a slight air of mystery surrounding his existence. He's just Obi-Wan.
You'll find out a little bit more about him, I suppose, if you watch all like the beer reviews and
I suppose
whatnot,
yeah. I need to. I still need to. Obi-Wan, if you're listening, I haven't seen him yet. I kind of, not that I don't want to, it's just something that I just have to sit down and like friggin' do it. It's like kind of a slip of the mind. I'm doing other things all the time. YouTube is not my typical go-to like entertainment source. You know,
Right.
when I'm like just hanging out, I always just like pop on Netflix or as of late I'm just putting in my own movies. I'm not even
bothering with streaming right now.
I mean not all the time. If I have friends over, I'm streaming, stuff like that. But like if I'm by myself and I'm like I'm going to watch something, I'm typically putting in something that I own. So it's just something that slips my mind a bunch. But I need to get on his channel and watch his videos.
You need to get on our channel too.
I need to get on our channel too and watch our videos.
Or at least join the chats every now and then, because that'd be fun to have you in there.
I know. You know what I need to do is I need to somehow cancel or at least make another YouTube account.
Yeah.
Because I was signed in for the one live video that we did where from my phone where we practiced.
Right.
And then the next time you signed in to do your live video, it kicked me off. We can't both be signed in at the same time. So what I need to do is make another profile because I'm not sure that I even know the password or even email associated with my old account.
Yeah.
And kind of start fresh. Get a new account, get subscribed to you, get subscribed to Obi-Wan, and then get the notifications going so I can join everybody.
Yeah, well, I think all you have to do is just make a new Gmail account, and then it'll give you a new YouTube, and you'll get like a new whatever Google Plus. No one uses that, but
right.
I think it's all connected now. If you have a Gmail account, you have access to all that stuff.
Okay, I'll have to, or you can at least sign in with Gmail. I've got a Gmail account. I might need to make like a professional account or something. I don't know.
Well, if you sign into Gmail on your phone, you should be able to open up YouTube and then use that same account. I think.
Well, I was considering.
At least that's how you could do it on a PC. I'm not sure if it's different on a phone.
Yeah,
it might be.
I mean, I was considering starting a YouTube for Momster Movies anyways.
Yeah.
So I could be subscribing and joining through that channel.
Yeah.
But I'm even logged out of YouTube currently. Let's see. Oh, here, use another account.
Perhaps it'll let you sign in there.
I am on my phone currently trying to get this going here. Now I can never remember my damn password. Oh wait, yeah, I got it. Hold on.
Had a new subscriber last night.
Subscriber.
Watching I was playing Star Wars Empire at War. And made it through the tutorial.
Oh, see. I'm signed in as my old account from high school, and I just want to get rid of it. I really just would like to get rid of it.
What's the name?
Attack Zach.
Attack Zach?
Yeah, 1120.
That actually sounds like a good YouTube name.
Attack Zach.
Hey, this is Attack Zach.
Yeah.
You guys, make sure you smash that like button.
I have 2 fucking subscribers, so I don't know where that came from.
Have you uploaded any videos to Attack Zach?
Yeah. Oh, I think so. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, God. How do I get to my account?
From a show?
My channel?
Yeah.
Here we go. Woo. Oh, yeah. Look at those. Those are from when I was in college.
Oh, yeah. What are the vids there?
Yep. That's I think that's it. Uploads. Do I have more than that? Oh, yeah, there is. Nope. So this is just my friend spray painting my other friend's bedroom, and then these are all clips from a show I played with the punk band I was in college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Those are all my uploads.
Well, there you go.
I need to just delete the fuck out of all of them. And they're not bad videos, just...
Well, it might be...
Yeah,
why not keep them around for history's sake?
Yeah.
You know?
I used to have another YouTube channel when I was in college called White V-Neck Productions, and it was just me and my roommate, and he would play guitar and I would sing stupid songs.
But were they original songs?
No, we were covering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
White V-Neck Productions.
And then we both wore, get this, white V-necks.
Ooh.
All right, okay. Well, now while I'm here, so I'm signed in. So here we go, Super Divorce, and we're gonna this right here, subscribe, and then bong the gong for notifications.
There you go.
There we go. So now hopefully,
and you can also head over to Obi-Wan's.
Yeah.
And the.
Do you know what his channel's called?
Obi-Wan Reviews, I believe.
Obi-Wan not Oni-wan.
No, actually, you know what might be easier?
Yeah.
Just go to one of our videos and go to one with comments, because I think I tried looking up Obi-Wan reviews and nothing came up for it because it's still a pretty small channel. So
Right. You got to build your fan base there, Obi-Wan. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
How do I find a
Let's
video
see.
with comments?
Just go to videos. It'll probably be. I can tell you one that he's been on. Let's see. Maybe. We're looking through. We're gonna find one here.
We're gonna find one so I can get on Obi-Wan's channel.
Let's see.
These aren't live videos. These are just videos, I think.
Some of them are live.
Some of them
It
are.
just puts all of them on here.
Gotcha.
So I know that he's done a lot of live chats. That's the problem. On
Right.
the live ones, he's already been involved. So
Right.
let's see. I'm gonna find one. Just give me a second.
Scrolling.
Maybe this one. See if there's any comments on there.
Comments?
Okay, so
How do I get to the comments?
Just scroll down to the bottom there. It should be.
Comment. There he is.
See Obi-Wan? All right, we got him.
Obi-Wan reviews. Subscribe. Bong the gong.
There we
we
go.
He has a video called Bunny Eats My Shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm officially subscribed to Obi-Wan Reviews.
There you go.
He's got 29 subscribers. Good
I think
for-
when I first went to his page, he had like 24.
Wow.
So
Uneducated beer review. Australian beer review. Love it. I love it. No views. I'm going to be the first viewer.
on which one?
Uneducated
Oh,
Australian beer reviews. Bishop's Best.
Bishop's Best.
Uneducated Australian beer reviews. Got here the only
Here's a little
other
guest spot from
Matzo beer I
Obi-Wan.
could find. Bishop's Best Dark Lager. So it's going to be a pretty long video, so I'll just get straight into the beer.
There we go. So everybody should follow Obi-Wan Reviews. That's OBI-WAN. Obi-Wan Reviews.
Reviews.
And you can tell it's him because his little profile picture is Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Which is why I started calling him Obi-Wan the first time he appeared in a live chat.
Right. Right. Because his YouTube handle, I believe, was Hello There.
Yes.
So, which is excellent.
Yeah. So he became Obi-Wan, and I feel flattered that he chose to keep the name Obi-Wan for renaming his channel.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan
it's
Reviews.
awesome. Yeah, he got a nickname from America.
And he's got the accent.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
awesome.
So I told
Americans
him
are suckers for accents.
when he first started his channel and he was putting a few videos up. He was like, in the live chat, he was like, "Oh, I'll probably just post videos because I don't really like talking on camera." And I was like, "Dude, Americans love hearing other accents. At the very least, you'll get an American audience because people just love listening to it." Because,
Yeah, what's the guy, the Bard?
Oh yeah, Bardic Broadcast.
Bardic
Yeah.
Broadcast. I listen to him just because he's Australian.
Yeah.
And he just, it's just all. There have been times where I've been driving and I'll put on a playlist of his videos and like not watch them obviously, but just to hear him talk because
Yeah.
I'm like, I like the way you speak.
I wish he did more videos too. That's the thing. That's where like I think that's the direction YouTube's heading in, is like live videos every day, or if not live, at least posting something every day.
Right.
Because that's how. I mean, remember how long it took us to get to 100, and now we're at after you subbed, it's, I think it'd be 173.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's just been. I think when I started doing live videos every day, we were around between 120 and 130. So it's like, that's a pretty significant increase in just like the past few months, and that's not spending any money on ads or anything like that. but I think you have to be consistent on YouTube because people will forget about you very quickly. The thing is, though, if you get a good following, I feel like it's kind of this deal where people fall in with like just a few channels, and then they'll be really loyal to those channels as long as they keep doing what they're doing. So it's been fun to sort of build it up and see how much it's evolved just since we started doing it, which was, I didn't really even know what I was going to talk about at that point. It was just like I was reviewing energy drinks and showing the progress that I was making on the floors. It was like, I'll do something every day.
Yeah.
And now we've gotten some a few videos that have done pretty well. The Robbie Rodriguez video has like over 200 views from last week. The one talking
that
about
butthole.
that. Yeah.
That's weird. Super weird.
The crazy thing is DC still hasn't said anything. Neither is Marvel. Like, they haven't commented on
Really?
it. Yeah. Which is like,
Does he work for both?
Yeah.
Does he?
He has. He's doing one of the new books for Vertigo in the new Vertigo line that they're relaunching.
Yeah.
And he's writing it with Zoe Quinn, the chick from Gamergate.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah. So it's like, it's really strange that they're just not even acknowledging it, because I think, as I might have mentioned to you, imagine if that picture had been sent to a female writer or a female artist.
Right.
It's like, it doesn't matter. It's still, you're sending someone an unsolicited nude picture of your asshole on Twitter. And it's like, you, not only that, you write for Marvel, you created a character that's supposed to be like this role model for young girls, and then you do that. And then the company you work for is just like, well, he sent that to Ethan Van Sciver, so we're not going to say anything.
That's exactly. I'm not. It's not that I'm not on board with Comicsgate. It's just that I feel like I still remain fairly uninformed or uneducated about the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I watched Van Sciver's video about the Rodriguez. You sent it to me.
Yeah.
So I watched it and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, fuck Marvel and fuck DC. Like, of course, I was pretty much on that boat anyways.
Yeah.
Basically throwing in all of my money with Image.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's just very, I think it's an intriguing thing to, there's something going on in the comics industry, and it's interesting.
It's really dividing people in a big way.
In a big way.
And, like...
And if I had to pick a side, I would absolutely pick the Comicsgate side.
The crazy thing is about that, too, is that the Comicsgate side, they're the ones who are trying to actually have conversations and talk to people who are on the other side of it.
Right.
Meanwhile, the people who are on the other side are just like, oh no, fuck those guys, they're all Nazis, and it's just like a bunch of white guys. Then you'll have people, like a lot of people posting on Twitter, commenting on YouTube, where it's like, these are actual, like, women. There are plenty of women. There are plenty of people of all different races. There are transgender people in the Comicsgate community, and they're trying to say, no, it's not all white people, it's us too, who don't like the way that the big two are treating their customers and their fans, and the way that creators are treating their fans by dismissing them and basically saying like, oh, well, if you associate with Comicsgate, then we don't want your money, and you can just go away and not buy our books anymore. You're not welcome to read them, basically. And it's like, that's... Then again, on the Comicsgate side, you have those creators saying, we don't care what you believe. We may not agree with you, but we'll have a discussion, and if you're giving us money, then we appreciate you spending that on our creations.
Right.
Which is how it should be. It shouldn't be like, I disagree with you, so don't buy my shit. Like, how insane is that?
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing that I can kind of like relate to, maybe coming close with all of this, is I did have a big discussion with my sister a while back and her boyfriend about how I felt like it's completely unnecessary to be all this forced diversity in comics, you know. And my whole stance was like what we've talked about before, like it's not effective if you're forcing it.
Right.
And it's just going to go back to the way things were anyways. So like instead of doing that, why don't you create new characters, or why don't you, you know, focus on people, or whatever it is, you know. And my sister's stance was kind of like, yeah, well, at least they're trying. And I was like, yeah, but it's just, you're doing a disservice to the fans. And she was like, yeah, but they're trying to get new readers. And I was like, but new readers it's not happening like that.
Yeah.
People aren't going to the comic shop and being like, oh my god, like when they change things and based on the movies, like that doesn't mean that everyone who went and saw the movie is going to start fucking reading Guardians of the Galaxy. Like,
it's still a niche market.
It's still a niche market. And then she's like, well, but they're just trying to get new readers, and they're trying to be diverse. They're trying to be inclusive. It's like, yeah, but it's not increasing your fan base to the point where you need to keep doing it. Like, forget it. Go back to the way it was and service your people that have been fans for 30 years. Stop renumbering. So, you know, they gave Venom wings the other day.
Really?
Venom has wings now. He's a dragon.
Like symbiote wings?
Yeah.
So it just one day realized it could form wings.
Yep. He's got wings now.
So why...
It's his true form or some bullshit.
Why didn't he just have wings from the beginning then?
Yeah, who fucking cares? I don't know. Like, my friend Corey posted about it on Facebook, and I saw it, like, prior to him posting about it, but he was just like...
Does it look stupid?
Yeah. It looks stupid. And it's just like, oh, okay. It's like the 5th issue of the Venom solo comic, and now he's got fucking wings. And it's just like, doesn't matter. Marvel's going to erase it in, like, a year anyways.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that, like, a year ago, Venom was part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he was a Space Knight. Venom's Space Knight. Like, what happened to that? Why not flesh it out? Why not make him a member of Guardians of the Galaxy and keep the way he looked? He had a whole different look to him. Because the symbiote, like, adapted to be in space or, like, whatever. I don't know. Do that. But nope. There was like a couple issues, and then they were just like, oh, JK, Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And then they restarted everything.
Well, the thing is Comicsgate is not just about the diversity issue. It's about the fact that a lot of what the big two are putting out is just garbage.
Yeah.
It's like they've got people on the hook who want to have the full collection. So they go to the comic shop week after week, and they buy this stuff, and they bring it home, and it's like the artwork is subpar. The stories are subpar. There's the forced diversity issue where it's like they're just implanting characters into roles that have already been established, thinking that it's going to take. It's like, you know, it's like trying to perform, you know, like some sort of surgery, you know, giving someone a new kidney, and it just doesn't, the body rejects it. You know, it's already... It knows what it needs.
Right, and it's like a good example, I think, of that forced diversity like that is when you run Death of Wolverine, and then you start a new Wolverine book with X-23 as Wolverine. Classic suit, you know, but it's I don't know her name, but it's X-23. You know, she's only got 2 claws and whatever. You run all new Wolverine for like a year, maybe 2 years, and then guess what? Wolverine's back. Guess what? X-23 has her own book now. It's like, just let her be Wolverine.
Yeah.
From now on. Or don't do it at all.
Right. Or just let her have stayed X-23.
And give her own book.
Because that was her character.
Yeah.
That's who she was. She didn't have to become Wolverine.
No.
You know, that character is it's Logan.
It's Logan.
It's
period.
never not going to be Logan.
Right.
If you just ask someone who's Wolverine, they're never going to say, "Oh, it's X-23." It's Logan. That's who Wolverine is.
Kill Wolverine, and then just fill the void with an X-23 book. Laura, her name's Laura. Fill the void with a Laura book. Like,
ironically, something that might be a bit of trivia here. Ethan Van Sciver actually created the X-23 character and pitched it to Marvel when he was working there in
Really?
the late 90s or early 2000s. Only her name was X-32, and he had a reason for it. But at the time, they turned him down and said, "No, we don't think that sounds like something that we want to bring into the Marvel universe."
for God's sake.
And then once he went and started working at DC, he saw one day, it's like, "Oh, there's going to be a new character unveiled for Marvel called X-23," and it was like a female version of Wolverine. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's the thing that I pitched to them. They turned down when he was working there." So, for all the talk about Ethan Van Sciver being a misogynist who hates women, he's a Nazi, and it's like, no, if you like X-23, he's the one who came up with that character.
Right.
So, little something there. But
the only thing I'll say is that based on a single video, and it's not that I don't support him, and I think that anything being said to him is wrong. I'm sure he's not that way. I think he comes across like a little intense, and it probably makes people uneasy, it probably makes them feel as if they're being accused, even though that's not what he's doing at all. He has a bit of an intensity when he does his videos, especially when he's doing ones like the one you sent me that have to do with Comicsgate and being attacked and blah blah blah. And it's that's the only thing that, even listening to it, I was like, I would catch myself being like, I don't know, you're kind of an asshole. And then I'd be like, no, he's not. He's cool.
yeah,
He's saying tons of factual things. He's just defending, himself and his beliefs are good beliefs. He's not a Nazi. He's not, he's not a misogynist. He's not any of these things people are calling him. But it's just kind of, like I said, I caught myself based on his tone, having to be like, nope, that's not what he's saying.
Yeah.
Just think about it.
It's not all of his videos have that tone.
Right, not
either,
all, I'm
but
sure.
It's I think you're amped up because a fellow professional just sent you a butthole photo on Twitter, and and nothing is happening to him, and it's and he's working at
right after Marvel Disney fires James Gunn for some kind of bullshit. Obviously, he's associated with Marvel.
Yeah,
they're essentially one and the same. So you get Robbie Rodriguez, who works for Marvel, who's owned by Disney, tweeting butthole pictures, and he doesn't get fired. What?
Yeah. It's
I feel like
not only that, but they haven't even said anything.
Yeah.
And then another thing that's surprising about it is that he's just gearing up to do this book for DC when he's been working for Marvel, I think exclusively for at least several years now.
Uh-huh.
And he's working on this new book for DC, and that was where Van Sciver worked for, almost the past, until he left, I would say the past 15 to 20 years or something like that. So he's a veteran. He was very well respected and has earned that over the years. And then you have this guy who's fairly new to the game just disrespecting you that way over the internet. And it's and he said that he wasn't going after him. He's like, I'm not going to go after your job. I'm not talking to people at DC to have you fired. His response was to open up Cyberfrog again and take pre-orders for another week.
Right.
So it's you can accuse him of whatever you want to, but it's I feel like a lot of people in that situation would have just been like, well, I'm going to have your job today.
Right.
And he didn't. He's just I'll let them deal with it. It's like, I don't work for those people anymore. So
Exactly. Yeah. And thinking about it, like I said, I throw all of my weight behind Image. The only Marvel book I buy is Moon Knight because it continues to be excellent, and it's beyond anything, like, Moon Knight's easily the best book on shelves right now for Marvel wise. Anyways, but beyond that, it's like exclusively Image, and that entire company was founded by people who abandoned DC and Marvel.
yeah,
So, and that was back in the 90s.
right.
So, it's obviously not gotten any better since then.
Well, I feel like it got better for a while, and it's kind of slipped backwards here. And all the stuff with customer relations, and then there's just replacing characters that people have already grown attached to in certain forms. Like I've said before, it wouldn't make any sense to me if they made Black Panther a white guy, like,
No.
or an Asian guy,
It's
or
like-
anything. Like, we already know who that is. We don't
Right.
need a new Black Panther. It's like,
No.
create new characters, but then they'll come out and they'll say, well, those characters are so well established, it's really tough to create new characters. It's like, yes, it is. How many characters in comics, since comics began, have achieved the level of superstardom and renown that the ones off the top of your head? Like, how many of those, how many characters have been tried out and failed compared to how many have succeeded? It's not easy. No one said it's going to be easy.
Right.
Why should you get to piggyback off the shoulders of this character who's already established, who people have grown to love in a certain way? I'm not saying there's no room for experimentation or evolving a character, but to just say, okay, well, Thor, well, actually, the whole time, Thor wasn't the person, it was just the title. So now there's a new Thor, and it's a lady,
Yeah.
and Thor isn't Thor anymore. He's just like a guy who's been disgraced, and he's wandering around and searching for a name or something like that. It's like that. No, you can't do that.
Right.
That, especially that character. That character is based off like a mythological character,
Right.
who's grounded in stories that are thousands of years old, and you think you're going to come in and just get people to accept that, oh well, no, that's not who that character actually was. It's actually this person now. No, it doesn't matter what their gender or color is. If you're dealing with a previously established character, people are not going to accept you just swapping that character out for someone else who's
'cause
more
guess
diverse.
what?
And then
Thor is Thor again.
yeah, exactly. Because the sales don't keep up. Like any book, the number 1 usually does really well. But then check back in on issue 15 and see what's going on. Does anyone care
For
anymore?
Marvel nowadays, check back in on issue 5.
Yeah, true.
And it's probably fucking dropped off. Like, you come out with a number 1, and by issue 5, it's a sinking ship.
Yeah. Because they're not concerned about telling good stories anymore.
No.
They want the attention and the buzz of doing something revolutionary with a character. People are like, oh, did you hear about this new book? Oh, number 1's coming out next week. They all rush out, they get that, they've got the number 1, and then they don't go to the comic store the next time the issue comes out because they're not invested in it.
No.
They don't care. They're not really fans in that sense. And so it's they're basing this approach on the faulty assumption that the most important thing about the character is either the color of their skin or their sexual orientation or their gender. It's like when you start telling a story, none of those things really matter anymore. That's not why people go and read comic books. That's not why they go and buy them. People go and buy these books, these ongoing tales, because hopefully get invested in a story that's being told across time. And you can't drag out a story about someone's skin color or who they want to have sex with just on the very surface level,
Right.
where you're trying to like hook people in by being like, hey, you're represented now. You know, we've got a gay character, or we've got a trans character in our book now. It's the main character. Okay, you might get the trans community to come out and buy your book, but still, it has to be a good story.
Right.
And it's not usually.
Right.
So then, no one cares. Second issue, third issue, it's abandoned. Like you said, it's a sinking ship after that.
Yeah. And then what does Marvel do? They retcon it and bring back the original character. Riri Williams taking over for Tony Stark as Iron Man. It was super cool. Oh, a young black girl is going to be Iron Man from now. She's going to be Iron Heart. Tony Stark is going to basically be Jarvis from now on. He's Iron Man again. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
I can tell you Tony Stark is Iron Man.
yeah.
And Iron Man's Tony Stark.
Yep.
That's it. And the only way that a transition would ever work is if you did it within the context of a story across a long period of time.
Yeah.
I'm like, off the top of my head, I can think of a scenario. Well, they've done it before, you know, when Dick Grayson took over as Batman. And it's
Yeah.
not like there was a huge outcry against it. I mean, people were still pissed off, some fans,
Right.
because they wanted Bruce Wayne, but at least it was like within the context of the story, it made enough sense. But even with that, Bruce Wayne's Batman again.
Yeah.
You know?
He's been Batman.
So I feel like that stuff never really sticks because
The only time you can really do it, it makes sense. You know, I haven't read it all, but like, think about Nightfall. In Nightfall, you know, Bane comes in out of nowhere and literally cripples Bruce Wayne, leaving Gotham City without a Batman. And I don't know if he's the only one, but I do know that who takes over? Azrael becomes Batman for a while. And it's like you have pages and pages and pages where Azrael is fighting and Batman is just like in a bed. But eventually he heals and retakes, you know, his mantle. But still, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Somebody else being Batman, because Batman got the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but if they wanted to replace him, Bane could have killed him. I don't know. It's just like, they're rushing it. You're right. Like the big thing is like, these changes are happening out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's like for a news headline.
Yeah. Like, oh, starting 2 weeks from now, starting a month from now, Iron Man's going to be a black girl from now on. For 15 issues, really. Realistically, for 15 issues. Iron Man's going to be a black girl. So there you go. Ta-da, look what we did. Check it out.
And I don't know how people don't see through that and how they don't see that as condescending. Because it's like, well, we don't want to take the time to develop a character for you, but we'll give you this for a little while. Aren't you happy because we're making Iron Man a black girl? Look, you're represented now. And it's like, yeah, but putting myself in the shoes of a black person, I might be like, I know what's going to happen. This book's not going to stick around.
Right.
So then, no, I'm not really being represented.
But
here.
they're just doing that to get new fans. They're trying to trick people into being like, oh, Iron Man's a black girl now. Maybe my daughter should read this.
Yeah.
And then they get people to buy 10, 15 issues of a comic, and then they fucking change it again, hoping that those people that have come in just for the diversity are going to stick around when they get rid of the diversity. And people aren't doing it.
No.
And in the process, you're losing longtime fans.
Yeah, because you're saying that, you know, oh, well, if you care that Iron Man is Tony Stark, like if it bothers you that we've made Iron Man someone else, then maybe comics just aren't for you anymore.
You're just a racist now, and you shouldn't be reading comics anyways.
If that bothers you, then maybe you should just go away. It's like, no, you're not taking into account how many story arcs these people have been through with this character. It's like burned into their mind. You can't just say, well, that's done now. It's like, why? It's not like the actor. It's not like movies where maybe the actor who played this character so well for 10 years has gotten too old, and now you have to recast someone. It's like, you could keep writing Iron Man, Tony Stark books for all time if you wanted to, because it's just, you're drawing pictures.
Right.
That never has to change, really. I mean, if you were dealing with the real world, then yeah, eventually you have to recast. You have to figure out what you're going to do about that. At the very least, you have to find a different actor at some point to play like an action hero, because people get too old and it's not believable anymore. But when you're dealing with comic books, look at all the main characters that and it's like, obviously not just men, but since Storm appeared, it's been Ororo, and she's about the same age now in comics that she was when she debuted, like whatever, in the 70s.
Right.
And the same for any other character who people love. It's like, look back at the way they look at them, like how they were drawn in the beginning, what age they were. They're probably presented as that same age now.
Yeah, that's another thing, like, they're trying, another example of like the forced diversity is that you're going to change Wolverine to a woman, you're going to change Thor to a woman, you're going to change Iron Man to a woman, instead of focusing on the fucking women characters that you already have. Why doesn't Storm have her own book? She's just as well known as any of the other X-Men. So write a book for Storm.
A fan favorite too.
Yeah.
I mean, even
she's
as,
in
like,
all the movies.
And here's the crazy thing is, like, as a young boy, I thought Storm was badass, And it's not like I could only ever connect with characters who I felt represented me.
Right.
It's like, okay, there are plenty of characters that I could look at as being representatives of me as a white male, Professor X is a white male.
Right.
But who's cooler, and who did I think was a better hero, Professor X or Storm? I thought Storm was cooler than Professor X. Professor X, he's a white guy, but he's just riding around in his little fucking chair, Meanwhile, Storm can conjure up a storm, and her eyes turn white, and there's like fucking lightning going off, and wind, and
she
it's
can
like
bring tornadoes at will.
Yeah. So it's like, that's another thing that I'm questionable of, is this concept that representation is the most important thing, because it's not like whenever you watch something you can only connect with a character who looks exactly like you, or you can only pull for a character who looks exactly like you,
or feels the same way you do, or has the same outlook on life as you. Like,
right,
people can, that's the misconception, is that you can only support something that's within the same small circle you belong to. Like, just because you're gay doesn't mean you can't support a straight character, and vice versa. Just because you're straight doesn't mean you can't support a gay character.
Right.
It's just like, you have to let people find connections with characters based on the stories you tell, not by the color of their skin or their sexual orientation or like whatever. It's but what they do, what their actions are.
Well, I feel like
who
that
they
was,
are as people.
At one point, that was what the whole civil rights movement was about. And that would have been what social justice was about, where it's like, don't look at me and think that the color of my skin or my sexual orientation or my gender is the most important thing about me, because it's not. It's really one of the most inconsequential things about a person when you get down to it. Because of women, of men, of gay people, trans people, people of color, that doesn't tell you shit about a person. Take a group of gay people, and within that community, you've got people who will literally span the political spectrum, people who span the religious spectrum, people who are good, people who are shitty, it's all over the map, you know. But this game that you know, I would say the modern left tries to play, where it's like all about identity politics, and it's like, let's pick out the most base, inconsequential thing about you and act as if that's the most important thing about you,
Right.
and try and build a movement around that, and then tell anyone within that community who's not adhering to whatever the narrative is. So in this case, we're talking about Comicsgate. You know, we'll say that, like, you know, if you're a black person in Comicsgate, then you don't really belong to the black community. You're the token black guy within Comicsgate, who the white people are looking at and saying, oh, see, there's a black guy over here, we're cool. And so you can't win.
Right.
But how fucked up is that, where it's like they won't even let you be an individual. If you're part of the group and you break away from it and you say, you know what, I don't agree with this little narrative that everyone's coming up with. I don't think that because I'm a black person that I have to be a Democrat, let's say. If you say that, then it's like, oh, well, you're not welcome here. You've joined the enemy's side, and there's not even anything that we can talk about anymore. That, to me, seems racist. Because you're saying, because of the color of your skin, you automatically have to have these opinions. And if you don't, then you're not welcome. That's racist.
Yeah.
That's racism. Not allowing individuals the personal dignity to decide for themselves what they believe and who they want to associate with. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
It is.
It's like a reverse civil rights movement. It used to be, don't pay attention to my skin color. Don't pay attention to my sexual orientation. Don't pay attention to my gender. Pay attention to how I live my life. And now, exactly, we're all focusing on this, on your skin color, on your gender, on your orientation. That's what makes you you. It's like, no, it doesn't. My actions are what make me me.
Right.
And they're reflecting the base policy in comics, and you're losing story, you're losing character, you're losing a reason to care. And so
Because
I'm
they're not
out.
Yeah. And they're losing a lot of people because of it. And because when you used to go to the comic shop, you wanted, what you cared about as a comics fan was cool artwork. At least when you're buying superhero books, you want action.
Yeah.
You want epic stories on like a massive scale. You know, there have always been kind of like niche indie titles where, you know, oh, well, this is going to be a book of nothing but people sitting down and having a conversation over coffee.
Right.
You know, it's like, yeah, that stuff's been there, and sure, it can have its place, but comic book fans don't, like superhero fans, don't want that in their books. They don't want to open up and read, you know, half a book, you know, just describing a person's mundane day-to-day.
Right.
They want action. They want it drawn well. They want stories that are compelling. And it's like, if you ask for that, well, you're just, you're obviously not woke enough to understand what comics are about now. You know, you don't want comics to be diverse. You want it to be all about you. No, I want them to be good.
Yeah.
That's it.
I just want comics to be good.
So it's like when you've got these Comicsgate Indiegogos popping up that people are donating to in droves because they can see the art beforehand, they can hear the pitch, you know, where the creator's telling people what the story is going to be about, you know. Then these campaigns are coming out and like blowing away what most of the mainstream books are doing in sales.
Yeah.
And it's all going to the creators, and then those books are going directly to the consumers. So you completely cut out the middleman, and it's like you don't even need Marvel or DC anymore.
Right.
And I think that's like causing them to scramble, and that's why they're trying to paint these people as being like Nazis, and they're all alt-right, even though that it couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, it's just name calling, because I think they're frightened.
Yeah.
They see themselves being phased out, and it's like, no, what are we gonna do? You know, what if
Right.
all of our creators figured out that they could just start opening up Indiegogo campaigns, and like, what does Marvel even need to do at that point when you can just go directly to your customers,
Right.
build relationships with them like one-on-one, ship them their books, and then you're like, maybe not putting out a comic every week, but given the choice of paying $50 a week at the comic shop for a stack of books, out of which there might be one good one, if I could do that, or I could pay $50 once a month for a book that's going to be sent to me directly from the creator that I've like seen a pitch about, that I've seen the artwork from, and that I'm excited about, I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I hope that I hope that these, like, the Comicsgate community is able to get their books into comic shops eventually. I know that, like, Diamond has been in touch with Van Sciver about distributing, like, after Cyberfrog, like, the campaign's over with, eventually getting Cyberfrog in comic book shops. But you know, some comic shops are taking a stance against Comicsgate, and they're like, well, we're not going to stock those books here. And it's like, fine, whatever, that sucks
We'll go
for
to a
you.
shop that does.
Yeah. And do you think you can afford to make that statement when, I think last year it was around 100 comic shops closed last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the game you want to play and you want to turn these people away, then fine. But
I went to a super cool comic shop in Pittsburgh this past weekend. I went out to Pittsburgh with a lovely lady named Jenna, and we went to a comic shop called Ives, and it was 3 stories,
wow.
and it was bad ass.
It's called Ives.
Yeah. The first floor was movies and toys and vinyl and posters and all kinds of cool, just cool stuff. And the top floor was more movies and VHS and books, like actual books and all kinds of shit. And the bottom floor was all comics, and they had those comic racks where it was just like a sea, of comics, but then all of the containers had 2 drawers that you had to pull out. So there were just, countless comics in this place, and they had CGC stuff, and they had rare books, and they had graphic novels, and they had toys, and it was a fucking cool shop.
Well, speaking of cool comic shops, like if you have a comic shop near you, and you're kind of worried about all these comic stores closing because the major companies aren't putting out good material right now.
Yeah.
This isn't really something I thought about, and I feel like I should have. I feel like a dummy for not considering it because I've worked in pre-owned media before. But it's like, if you want to support your local comic shop, go and buy back issues.
Yeah.
Because that money is like going right in their pockets. They paid out for those books, but the profit margin on pre-owned stuff is so large compared to what people are making on the new books that come in. It's like, if you go and spend $10 to $20 on pre-owned comics, and you're picking up, just a random arc of the X-Men from like the 90s or something like that, just for fun, just to read it, which I think is like, it's almost like a lost art, I feel, that I hope people rediscover. And this might be a good thing, actually, that the major companies have hit this slump where it's like they don't really care about stories anymore. So it's going to allow comic fans to maybe explore this option where it's like, well, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to sift through the back issues and I'm going to find some comics with like cool covers, and I'll find like 5 or 6 that just are sitting there in a run together. And it's
Right.
like, well,
Sometimes it'll say part 1 of blah, 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 or new arc begins here.
Right.
Or like look for comics that have that on the cover, or if you just like the cover.
Yeah.
Because I've bought comics just for the cover art before.
yeah,
You know.
it's like something that I heard, well, you've heard people talk about back in the day, going to the record store and you'd flip through and just buy records because the cover looked cool. It's kind of the same idea here,
Yeah.
but a lot of times when you go in and you're looking at back issues, it's like they're only selling them for like $1 or $2.
Mm-hmm.
But that money is still going like right to the comic shop.
Right.
And they maybe only paid like 10 cents a piece for these things. So it could be a good way to help out your local store.
Yeah, the only back issues I would buy more back issues. The only back issues I'm currently searching for are Mark Spector Moon Knight issues. It was a 60 issue run, and I'm about 10 away from being complete. Maybe a dozen away on being complete. But
I mean, that could be a cool thing to do on Super Fanatics too.
mm-hmm.
Is just go out to whatever comic shop and find
Yeah.
like each of us find like a different story arc
Mm-hmm.
in the bargain bins and the back issues and be like, oh, we're just gonna read this and then tell you guys about it, because if you pick randomly, you're probably gonna stumble upon something that no one else has talked about.
Right. Yeah. I
So-
did I was gonna say something. I don't know. I did find some Mark Spector issues that I don't have at Ives in Pittsburgh, but I didn't pick them up because I had already spent money on some movies. But still pretty cool. It's fun to hunt for, I'd be down to go check out a run of something here and there.
I think it'd be fun. I'm reading the DN Agents book.
Yeah.
Made my way further into that. I'm enjoying it, and I started the Road to Metal as well.
I don't know about that.
The Batman book.
Oh, okay, like lead up to the metal arc.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So
I haven't read a bunch lately. I mean, I'm such a loser. I'm really just so stoked on Saga, which is a prime example of a comic that has diversity and doesn't make a fucking big deal out of it. I mean, it's just not even who cares. Like, every character they introduce doesn't fucking matter. Some of them are black, some of them are white, some of them have horns, some of them don't wear clothes. Like, they're just characters. It's just a good ass book. But yeah, I'm such like a Saga mark that I've barely read anything else, and they're on a break forever. So that sucks. But
speaking of Mark, they did the All In event. Had you heard about that?
no.
The wrestling event that was put together by the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes,
Okay.
and it was like all not independent. Well, independent compared to the WWE. Like, no WWE guys were there,
Yeah.
but they sold out a 10,000 seat arena and did a pay-per-view for it, and it was like, guys from New Japan and Ring of Honor and a bunch of other promotions came in, and it was just like not really a part of any particular brand storyline. It was just, they did this promoting it by saying, we're going to bring in a bunch of your favorite wrestlers from the indies, and we're going to do a pay-per-view of our own.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to try and sell out a 10,000 seat arena. And when they announced this, people were like, oh, if it's a non-WWE event, there's no way that they're going to get 10,000 people in there.
Uh-huh.
And then I think it sold out within like a few hours when tickets went on sale.
And the Young Bucks put it on, like they organized it.
It was the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes.
And Cody Rhodes.
And they were the ones who like produced the entire thing and like put it all together, and it sold out. I think they ended up releasing the attendance, and it was like 11,200 and something. And,
yeah.
And it was just like, you know, what's his face, Dave Meltzer, and the guy who does the their podcast with him, Brian Alvarez. He said it was like the best weekend of wrestling that he's experienced in years, and was like the most fun.
I'm so glad. Like, I'm so glad. If you guys don't know, and I only learned this recently, but Dave Meltzer is like the end all be all reviewer for wrestling.
Yeah.
Just period. He's just been doing it longer than anyone else, and he
did it before anyone thought it was cool.
Yeah. And he's probably the most respected.
Yeah.
Not even probably. Like, he is the most respected voice in wrestling review. So I just love that he said it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's cool.
And Jericho showed up in the main event, too.
Really?
And attacked Kenny Omega.
Oh, my God.
So it probably sets up another match between those two.
Because he went to Japan to wrestle Kenny, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then he won New Japan's Intercontinental Championship a few months ago.
Oh, did he?
Jericho did. Like, no one saw that coming, because they figured that it was going to be like another one-off match for him against a guy named Tetsuya Naito.
Uh-huh.
And so he went, and that guy was their champion, and he beat him, and everyone was like, oh my God, what? Like, and Jericho tried to pitch to Vince McMahon a match for SummerSlam where he would have come to the WWE, and it would have been him as New Japan's Intercontinental Champion versus Seth Rollins at the time, who was WWE's Intercontinental Champion.
Uh-huh.
And he wanted to do like an Intercontinental Champion versus Intercontinental Champion match at SummerSlam.
Right.
And he was like, Vince was like really excited about it at first, and then he just never contacted me again. And then just... like,
once again, it's almost like the same thing with Marvel. Like, there's just this indie underbelly.
Yeah.
That's like, hello, we're here. You should probably treat us with a little bit of respect.
Exactly, because you're seeing now, like, if you don't, there are now ways for independent creators to make probably more money than they would if they were actually working for the bigger companies.
Yeah.
It's like that event that they did, the Young Bucks and Cody, selling out a 10,000 seat arena, not even put on by any promotion in particular.
Right.
It wasn't like New Japan Pro Wrestling Presents. It was just called All In, and that was the name of the pay-per-view. And it was like a bunch of wrestlers. It was like, we're all in on this, and that was like the theme of it. They were just getting together to put on a great show for wrestling fans, and it sold out. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine
that.
And they called it a wrestling show. They didn't call it sports entertainment or any of that stupid shit that they like don't let them say wrestling in WWE. It's sports entertainment. It's not professional wrestling.
Who fucking cares?
It's like no one says sports entertainment. You don't ask anyone, hey,
do you watch sports entertainment?
Yeah.
No, man, I watch wrestling.
Exactly.
You shut the fuck up.
Even people who like are very casual about it, no one calls it sports entertainment.
Not a person.
Yeah. Do you know the sports entertainer, The Rock? What? Sports entertainer? What do you mean? You mean the wrestler, The Rock?
Right.
That's what they would say. That's how everyone knows it. That's what it is. That's like another example of what happens when you try to force something onto an already established concept.
Yeah.
We've already got a name for this. It's professional wrestling. I don't care if you're embarrassed by it, Vince. That's what it is. That's what people know it as. You're not going to force this new term onto people and have them accept it.
Right.
So, yeah. Oh, boy. Well, so we have a show coming up in a couple weeks.
We do. Yeah, we do. Two weeks. Not this weekend, but next weekend?
Yeah.
Yep.
Playing with One Day Steady and Mission Man.
Mission Man, yeah. It's gonna be fun. Should we like practice today or something? As long as your kid's not asleep.
We'll have to see. I'll have to see what's going on here.
Yeah.
So I probably have to eat soon too.
Oh, that too.
But
I need to eat too.
perhaps we can get together
Hungry.
in the week.
Yep.
Do something. What else? Anything else of note to get in here before we?
I don't think so. I mean, it's my birthday today. This whole thing was a birthday cast.
Oh, I didn't. Well, happy birthday.
Thanks.
I'm terrible.
It's fine.
Didn't even realize.
It's today.
Well, the problem is I didn't get on Facebook to have
Well,
Mark
you're
Zuckerberg
not. You
tell
don't
me.
even follow anybody on Facebook anyways.
I know, so I wouldn't. Yeah.
No, I know.
Well, I'm here with you now, so happy birthday.
Thanks. The only one that said happy... No, not the only one that said it in person. But still, I appreciate it.
What
Yeah.
What number is this now?
29.
It's like
20 fine, as my
29.
friend Michael says. 20 fine.
I guess I feel like after 21, it's like no one gives a shit until 30.
25.
I mean, kind of. That's like
That's the last... You have 21, which is your big, like, I can drink now.
yeah,
And blah, blah, blah. And then 25 is your big, like, quote-unquote, I'm an adult now.
yeah.
So, like, 25 is kind of a big deal, but, like, after that, it's like, who fucking cares? So you hit 30.
You're 30. After 30, then it's like 40.
Then it's like you hit 30, and then it's every 10 years is a
40,
big deal.
50. But even after 50, it's like, oh, you made it to 60.
Yeah.
It's like that's
Congratulations.
yeah, that's not even a big deal. It's almost like once you get to 50, for a huge celebration, you'd have to make it to 100.
100, yeah. 90, I think 90 is a pretty big deal, but 100 is
Yeah.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
you already did this once.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So I'm sorry I did not realize off the top of my head. But it's happy birthday anyway.
Thank you.
Jess's birthday then is just
2 days from now.
2 days.
Yep.
September
It's
6th.
Thursday.
So
I remember.
all right, well, yeah. That's an episode for you. So hang around for the outro.
Yep.
We are not getting a divorce.
So there you go. That was another episode of the Super Divorce Supercast. Thank you for listening. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully while you're here you will like and subscribe and all that jazz. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can look me up. I'm mostly on Twitter these days, at Nicholas Villars. Really, I've just been using the Super Divorce Twitter for most things because it's like, why switch back and forth? I don't know.
Right.
It's not like it. I feel like if you were using Twitter a lot, then I
Yeah.
might take the time to differentiate. But
Right.
but
But I'm not. I don't.
So it's like I'm speaking for myself on Twitter
Through Super Divorce.
through Super Divorce, and if I ever say anything that you take issue with, just know that it was me.
Yeah,
and,
it's Nick.
And whether or not Bender agrees or disagrees with me, then that would be something you'd have to consult with him about.
You'll probably have to listen to the podcast to figure it out, or at me on Twitter. I'll never respond, but you can try anyway.
You can try and add him.
Yeah, you can follow me. I just feel like I don't have enough followers to post noteworthy content. But I'm also just like never fucking on it, so who cares? If you'd like to follow me on social media, don't follow me on Twitter, but do anyways. And but most prevalently, you can follow me on Instagram at BenderButt. Also, head on over to Facebook and type in Monday Momster Movies in the search bar. Like that page, because that's a horror review show that I do with my mother. And she thoroughly enjoys it. So you can watch our videos and stuff. Probably going to set up a YouTube soon that I'll start pitching, but I don't know. We're doing Facebook well, so whatever. You can also follow us on Instagram at Momster Movies. That's pretty much it. I'm very prevalent on Instagram.
Yeah. Instagram star.
I am an Instagram star.
So, yeah, thank you very much for listening again. And until next time, please look forward to the next episode of the Super Divorce Supercast.
Enjoy, chefs.
Super Divorce.
My friends, we are Super Divorce, a synth pop duo with a full-length album called Action Figures. You can listen to it on many streaming platforms, including Spotify, where you can follow us and keep up to date with all of our tunes. If you like what you hear, why not pick up a copy of Action Figures on CD, cassette tape, or vinyl record at superdivorceme.com and grab a Super Divorce Rules t-shirt while you're there too. And hey, while you're here, please make sure that you've liked this video, sub to our channel, and bong the gong for notifications. We go live here every single day, so don't miss out on your chance to join us in real time for chats and the latest in pop culture news. We have a fantastic community, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. On top of daily vids and some rad tunes, we also produce a weekly podcast called the Super Divorce Supercast, with new episodes every Friday, as well as a comic book review show called Super Fanatics, a horror movie review show called Super Scary, some video game streaming, and a Star Wars review called Sequential Star Wars, in which I, Nicholas, and my good brother Andrew review the Star Wars films and TV shows in sequential chronological order. And with the shilling complete, please look forward to another video here on the official YouTube channel of Super Divorce.
We gonna go viral with this one.